GHS.
Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Stella.
Hello.
Hello, Kofi.
Hello, Kofi.
How are you?
Hi, Kofi. How are you?
We're great. We are great. We are great. Okay, so Jojo is on now. Jojo, can you put the mask away? Let the mask disappear. Okay. So we are ready. We are just trying to tie up the link to the parfait. Is it possible to just see everybody's face for a second so that we know we are doing? Jimmy, Stella, Margaret.
I am in a remote place. Okay.
The lighting is not great, but
I am in the village.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Jimmy.
Okay. Okay.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay.
So it's good to see everybody and to know the team you are dealing with.
Two.
Oh, so we have 9 minutes to start.
Yes,
My recommendation is always to start exactly on time and let other
definitely.
people tag along. Fortunately for us, it's something that they can always go back and watch. So. Margaret, your mic is off. You were going to say something?
No, I think I was mostly talking to myself. I was saying I'm with you on that.
Okay. So, yeah, so we'll just hold on and start exactly at 4. So
Okay.
Okay.
Jojo would ask the program, as we agreed on the program, we'll do the opening remarks and then we'll take it from there. So at 4, we go live.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Thank
fine.
you, everyone.
All
Cheers.
right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Daniel, Alpha. Alpha.
So we will start. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Jimmy Chakacha. I will be your moderator for today. It's my pleasure. IFC had partnered with CalBank to support its MSME through this crisis, and our today's topic is surviving today to be able to thrive tomorrow. And joining me is a team from both sides of CalBank and IFC. So without much ado, I pass the ball over to Jojo. Jojo, over to you, and most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hi to all, and thank you for participating in the webinar. And as a bank, our bank always values such programs. We have in the past been having focus meetings for our customers, mostly in the SME sector. And so this is not a new thing that we are doing. However, with the various developments that are happening within the year, we deem it fit that for this time around, we place special emphasis on what we're doing with SMEs. Sorry about the feedback. And so, with this a second series, our first series was on how SMEs can create value using digital channels, and it was very interesting. And the feedback was great. And so this time, we deemed it fit that we should take a topic that's very pertinent to our business. We all know about what the havoc COVID is wreaking on our various businesses and economies this year. And so we felt that as our cherished customers, we should share with you how you can survive, how the various measures that you can put in place to survive and continue to become relevant and profitable. So that's why today's topic is supporting MSME clients in times of crisis, surviving today to thrive tomorrow. You all know the significance of SMEs to the economy. We know that SMEs contribute not less than 70% to GDP, about 60% of employment. And then SMEs make up about 85% of all businesses in Ghana and in Africa as a whole. So for us, SME, doing business with SME is very important. And for CalBank, as our slogan goes forward together, we believe that as our SMEs are doing well, we should be able to support them to do well. And when they face hard times too, we should be there to support them and help them to find ways of adjusting to the hard times and getting out of them to do it better. That's why we've invited a very knowledgeable person, the person of Mrs. Margaret Jackson, to take us through this topic. So without much ado, I'm sure Margaret will introduce herself and the various experiences that she has. So I'll entreat all of us to pay attention to what she's going to say, to take active part in what we're doing. You can send your questions through the various channels, and I'm sure we'll be addressing all of them. So I'll entreat all of us to enjoy what is going to happen. Let's just take pertinent lessons from them. Margaret and Jimmy, please take over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Margaret, you're on mute.
Margaret, we can't hear you.
Jimmy, Margaret is still mute.
It's working.
Margaret, it's still on mute.
Hello, Jimmy.
Yes, Jojo.
We can't hear Margaret. Can you
Okay, let me get in touch.
help her out here?
Hi, Margaret, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, we will allow Margaret to reconnect and then she will try again.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Margaret, you're very clear now.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
But I thought I was.
Thank you. And we can see your screen coming up. Okay.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Margaret.
I don't know what was happening. I was speaking, you couldn't hear me, and I started typing.
Yeah, we could we could see you speaking.
Oh, technology, please forgive me.
Yeah.
It's okay. Your audience is ready for you.
Hey, that's better. It means that now everybody is anxious and they are ready to
Yes.
hear me. And I'm also ready to work with everyone. I was saying thank you, Jojo and Jimmy. Yes, and as Jojo said, my name is Margaret Jackson. I love working with entrepreneurs. I love working with SME, MSMEs, because I'm also an SME. I'm a fellow of the Learning and Performance Institute based in the UK. I'm a certified online and face-to-face facilitator, instructional designer for both face-to-face and online, and I'm also an assessor. So I'm now doing what I love to do most, and I'd like to say a big thank you for joining us at this busy time. How do I mean? I know it's busy because restrictions have been relaxed and people are trying to get their businesses back to where it was before COVID. So I'm happy you are here. And whilst I'm speaking now, kindly introduce yourselves, write your name and the organization that you own or work with in the chat box, because I'd like to know who I'm working with. So please do that for me. And since it's being recorded, I'm sure that those who maybe for some reason or the other were not able to join or will join late will also have the benefit of listening to the whole recording. So, hey, let's go straight into why we are here. Enough of my introduction. I want to learn more from you. So please start writing in the chat box. And Jimmy will tell me who is here very soon. So we are offering you, all of you, this webinar because we know you are concerned about how to get your business to work and to thrive. And like you, CalBank is also interested and wants to make sure you succeed. But because of internet bandwidth, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my video off, but at the end, when it's time for question and answer, I will put it back on so that we can really chat. Thank you very much. So as I was saying, CalBank also wants you to succeed during this new normal, as we now call it. CalBank doesn't only want you to succeed, CalBank wants you to prosper, wants your business to flourish, wants you to stay profitable as we all work together during this pandemic. I mean, this new normal. And as we say, this too shall pass. You know, we are in unprecedented global times in our economy. We now have a new normal. Some are saying it is over, but as business people, you and I know it is not over until it is over, because our businesses have felt the pinch and we are still feeling the pinch. And now, 2 days ago, I was listening to the radio and later went on to CNN and heard that a lot of the airlines are following their stuff. And I was like, wow, you would think it's in Europe and America, but it would definitely affect other parts of the world. So in addition to keeping yourself and your family healthy, we also know you are concerned about your business and your financial livelihood. As I am, I'm an SME and I'm concerned about my financial livelihood. So let's spend our time together beginning to think creatively and plan strategically on how to maintain our profitability during the pandemic and the economic aftermath. What will this webinar do for us? You see, this webinar gives you tips. I'm giving you tips to help you plan for how to thrive and flourish despite the pandemic as a business, and also how to prepare for the future. So this is a part of the series that we'll be holding for you. I believe the next one will be around 20th October. So let's take a moment away from the concerns of the pandemic and envision a plan for our businesses. Let's do that. Jimmy, before I move on, have we got a few people introducing themselves, please?
Margaret, thank you. People are introducing themselves here. So we have Eric, Okanta from Ali.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hello.
Hi. Who
You
is
can
here?
hear me?
Yes, Jimmy, I can hear you now.
All right. So I was saying there's one from Alexander. There was Eric from All Products. And then finally, there was Kenneth from Greenwood Supplies Limited. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Now I want you to do this with me. I want you to trust me. I want you to close your eyes. You know, I want you to envision your business, how your business will look thriving despite the pandemic. Kindly close your eyes for me and envision your business, how it will look thriving despite all that is going on. When you finish, write in the chat box for me what you saw about your business, how the business looked like thriving. So, Jimmy, if we have anything, can we start sharing whilst we wait for contributions?
Okay, so Margaret, we still don't have much. That I want to acknowledge one person who has just joined and introduced himself on the chat box. That is George Adai of Boateng from CalBank. Thank you so much, George. Sika Gunu from CalBank. Thank you so much. Wow. All right, may you proceed, Margaret?
Okay, thank you very much, Jimmy. So you see, the reason why I wanted us to look at how our businesses will look like after the pandemic thriving is that having a picture of what success looks like makes it very easy to make the vision real. If you have a picture, then you can make it come true. You see, many business owners fail because they do not know what they want. You may have just gained valuable insights into how to tweak your business to grow your profitability just by looking at it as successfully thriving. So you see, your vision needs a creative plan. Do we have any yet? Jimmy, do we have any
Margaret.
yet?
Definitely. There's one touching one here. Alexander says, I saw a brighter business after the pandemic. Wow. Emmanuel says, I envision my business being a global player. And then finally, Kenneth from Greenwood says, I saw Greenwood with more branches in Ghana. Thank you so much. Back to you, Margaret.
Okay, thank you very much, Jimmy. So you see, your vision about more branches, being a global player, those visions, they need a creative plan. And this webinar gives you ideas to consider from which to creatively plan and make your vision a reality. So let's look at what our time together this evening is going to cover. Voila, this is what I'm going to cover. So please look at it. We are talking about, in this webinar, we'll discuss increasing profitability through several methods, including employing cost control methods, increasing sales and pricing proactively. We also address what to consider when choosing options for your business. To build a framework for your plan, we begin by defining the terms profit, profitability, so that we are all on the same page. So you see, this is what we are going to do. So let's look at what you get out of this webinar. You are wondering this evening, why should I be with this woman? Well, I'm going to give you the reason why you should stay with me. You see, you are going to adjust. What we are going to do, we are giving you tips to adjust for the new normal. All these can help your company. The points I have here can help your company to thrive in these difficult times and come out ahead. And I always love Barbara Corcoran, and I quote her. You know the American Shark Tank, the millionaire and investor on the Shark Tank television show, Barbara Corcoran? She's a self-made millionaire. And let's listen to what she says about this era. She says, and I quote her, is a chance for you to breathe in. and put together a plan for the next year of your business. So she's saying, don't put your head on your hand on your head and say, Danyavi Makulo, Ngo, Mewu. No, don't just say this pandemic is causing havoc. It is a time for you to breathe in and a chance for you to put together a plan for the next year of your business. She has been there and she knows this. She has faith that when this era ends, savvy businesses may, and I'm quoting her again, perfectly positioned to come back stronger than ever. So the question is, do you believe you come back stronger than ever? Those branches, being a global player, all these things. And I'm going to give you a link to that article later on. But I want to quickly show you a slide about planning for the future that maps out short, medium, and long-term actions for your businesses. So that is it. Voila, this is it. So in the short period that we're speaking, the first 3 months, you can analyze the impact on your revenue, expenditure, customers, the supply chain, and production. In the midterm, after 3 months, you can also look at how to reduce fixed costs. Then from 6 months to 12 months, as she's saying, we should be breathing in and planning. You are thinking of how to keep a permanent contingency fund, strengthen or change your business model. We'll talk about these in detail. But I always say in every kingdom, there are rules. So please, in this kingdom, participate. It is said you take out of any meeting as much as you put in. So please, when I ask you to write in the chat box, please write, and let's respect each other. And please mute your microphones. We are going to use the chat box because there are a lot of us. So please mute all your microphones. Even when I'm not speaking, I'm also going to mute my microphone. Are we on the same page? If you agree with me on the ground rules, kindly type yes in the chat box for me. Please type yes in the chat box for me. So now let's take a couple of minutes on the fundamentals of managing profitable business and managing cash flow. You know, I know that most of us are between, because before you can own a business, you must be over 25. So you may have experience. So anytime I say something and you have that experience, please share in the chat box. And Jimmy will be kind enough to read it for us. So Jimmy, are people saying yes? Are they ready? Do they agree with the ground rules?
Yes, Margaret, indeed, they are staying with you all through this session. There are so many yeses that are coming through, and I would like to thank each and everyone who is sending in through their yeses. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. And now I'm about to talk about, I'm going into the real McCoy, the real reason why we are here this evening. So if you're ready to go on this beautiful journey with me to know how to plan for our businesses so that we don't only survive, but thrive as well, please type yes in the chat box for me. If you're ready to go on this journey with me, kindly type yes in the chat box for me. So you see, profits, as we all know, I'm just going over profits and profitability. Profit is the money left over from your income once you have paid all your expenses. So let's say if you sell computers, for example, you need to consider the cost of the computers, transportation, small utility software, warehousing, among others. You need to take all costs from the total income that you receive to arrive at profit. But profitability is your ability to make profits and sustain those profits over time. So there are differences between profit and profitability. Profit is short-term indicator of success, but profitability is a long-term predictor of success. So you see, we want you to stay profitable. We don't want you to make profit today and make losses tomorrow. We want you to make profits over a long period. And that is why we are in this webinar. We also look at profit, sales, and cash. You know, sales is what you get from selling your products. And we have discussed profits already. And cash is the actual money available. So now let's look at this. I want to tease you. Could you guys put off your mic if you're not speaking. Thank you very much. So more sales does not necessarily mean a larger profit. Please type in the chat box for me an answer. Please listen to this. More sales does not necessarily mean a larger profit. When might this be the case? Please think about this briefly and write your answer. More sales does not necessarily mean a larger profit. So when can you have more sales but not make a lot of profit? Please type in the chat box for me. Jimmy, do we have any answers yet, please?
All right, not yet at the moment, but I am on standby. As they think through, I think we can proceed.
Okay, so I will proceed, and then as they come through, you see, it can happen when you produced or bought the goods that you sold with a loan that you need to repay. So, or more sales required more personnel. So you brought in more personnel or upfront costs that you are recovering from with the sales. So, and a third option is you had to offer deep discounts to sell more or more quickly. Then more sales may not necessarily mean more profit. So these are some of the things that you have to consider. But let's go on. Let's look at this. The first and most easiest place to look for ways to maximize profitability quickly as an entrepreneur is in the area of controlling costs. And because of COVID-19 protocols, we may have to incur more costs. For example, buy protective gear for your staff, sanitizers, gloves for your staff and customers. The number of staff on the shop floor may have to be, you have to reduce them in order to observe the social distancing protocols. But despite these measures, you need to control costs. So now let's take a few moments to look at how we can go about controlling costs. Are you ready to go on this journey with me to find out how to control costs? If you are, please give me your yes, 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 and let's move on. Jimmy, do we have anything in the chat box before I move on?
Yes, indeed, Margaret. So to your question on more sales does not necessarily mean larger profits. Eric had said, we only have the situation when your cost is way ahead of your sales. Giorgio has said, when your expenses or cost of sales exceed your sales. Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much. You are all so on point. Now let's look at this. If you have not already this week, if you haven't done what I'm going to say already this week, I encourage you to list everything, I mean everything on which your business spends money. Please sit down and list everything. Sometimes as SMEs, we don't do that. We don't take the time to sit and list everything that we spend money on. This week, this is what I want you to do. List everything. Then group them into logical categories. You see the categories I have on the slide? List them into these categories. And analyze each one to determine if it can be reduced. Be creative, you know. Overhead cost here can refer to, you know, electricity, your generator, the fuel you buy for your generator, the rent you pay, marketing materials, telecommunications, insurance, you know. And you can ask yourself such questions. Can I reduce the consumption of electricity? Are my marketing materials effective? Am I overpaying for phone bills and the plans that I have? Because as organizations, we can have phone plans with MTN and Tigo and Airtel, all of them, you can have plans with them. So you see, these are the questions. So for each category, you've got to ask yourself questions. So let's say you can also identify some inventory and questions that you can ask yourself. Am I carrying too much inventory? If so, can I sell some inventory before replenishing stock? You know, there are so many questions. And if you go to your staff cost, you can ask yourself, am I paying too much commission? Are the benefits too much? You could ask yourself these questions to help you. How many employees do I really need? These are the questions you need to ask in order to prioritize cost reductions. But how do you know where to start when reducing costs. You see, I'm sure you are saying this woman is saying I should reduce costs. How do I know how to go about it? Well, here you are. Strategies to start reducing costs. So there are two strategies here on the slide. One, you can start with heavy items. By heavy here, I mean costs that bears the most weight, the heavy weight, or is the biggest in your business. Some costs, when you have to pay, you have a headache. You can start by looking at the biggest item to see if there's an opportunity for you to save money. So you can ask yourself, you have to think for a minute about your own business now. I want you to think about your own business now. Which are the 3 major costs in your business? Please share in the chat box. I want to know. I want to know. I know everybody is also yearning to know. So please tell us, what are your largest costs? We would like to know. Jimmy, do we have anything in the chat box whilst participants are sharing their largest costs?
Yes, Margaret. So as we wait to know, Maxwell had said that whenever we have more sales does not necessarily mean that larger profits. Maxwell had said when your costs outweigh your sales. Thank you so much, Maxwell. So we will wait to hear on the major costs. Maybe you can proceed, Margaret.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. So whilst we wait for your 3 major costs, so you think about it, it's important to think about your major costs if you haven't done so already. So you ask yourself, what would it look like to pick the biggest cost in your business, concentrate on first in order to recognize and realize cost savings? Let's look at how to pick low-hanging fruit. You list the easiest cost to reduce in each category. What low-hanging fruit exists in your business is a question that you should be asking yourself now. What are the low-hanging fruits that exist in your business? In case of your overhead, do some of your customers have, so you can think, so let's look at how you can look at this to reduce costs. So in case of your overheads, you can ask yourself, do some of your customers have email or social media? Could you reduce marketing costs by using the internet? You know, before the pandemic, we all saw that the world was going digital. Now the pandemic has propelled, COVID-19 has propelled us into that age. So are you still doing flyers? Are you sending marketing materials that you can do online? Those are some of the things that you can look at to reduce costs. So for example, rent could be more complex if you have a long-term contract like I did, and I had to work remotely. And so now you must be asking yourself, do I still need to do brick and mortar if your work is like mine? So these are some of the things that you can look at to reduce costs. Now let's look at some additional strategies. There are some additional strategies aside starting with the heaviest items or picking the low-hanging fruit. So you can save on fixed cost. So you can co-locate, as I was saying. I mean, we all, before the pandemic, we all used to think of fancy offices. Now you can co-locate with another organization, and that's fine. So you can look at this and reduce your fixed cost if you can't work remotely. So these are some of the things you can do. You can also lease a cars instead of just buying cars. This time, cash is king. So you've got to hold on to the little cash you have because you don't know the opportunities that will come. So instead of buying a car for your business at this time, you can go in for leasing. We are leasing photocopiers now because we don't need to buy. Then you can also optimize variable costs. You know, you can reduce accounts receivable timings. Talk to your clients. If you are not speaking, could you kindly mute yourself? Thank you very much. So you can also talk to your clients, just like we have done. So initially, we used to be so shy of calling clients, but call them in a polite way and ask them to pay because now we need money. The turnaround has got to be quick. And you can also increase accounts payable. You can talk to your suppliers and ask them to give you more time to pay. So this is the time for you to rethink the way you do business. Are we on the same page, please? If we are, kindly give me a yes in the chat box. And now let's look at what strategies to reduce waste. And I like this. You see, there are strategies to reduce waste. There may be additional waste to find in your business, I'm telling you, either in resources or time that you can reduce in order to better control your costs. So please think about this. There's no better time to do this than now. So conduct a waste walk. And conducting this waste walk helps you to identify these areas that maybe there's waste. You see, first, literally walk through, not on paper or verbally, walk through, especially those of you who have factories, literally walk through, not on paper, but actually do the processes, each of your processes step by step. In doing that, look for resources. This could be people, supplies, or material being used without adding value. It is true. Sometimes packaging, we package and we make a lot of, we incur a lot of cost when we could take certain things out. So this is the time to look at the way. That doesn't mean packaging should not be nice, but I'm saying sometimes there may be something on it that's not necessary. Or maybe there's downtime for your staff. That could be better used doing something to add value. Look at all that. Please do that waste walk. Small changes to reduce waste could reduce errors and save time and money. So if all efforts to cut costs leave your business or your family unable to repay loans in a timely fashion, especially during this period, let's see what you can do. Because maybe you owe the bank and you cannot repay. Let's do this. We are saying delinquency is not good. You are cutting costs and you are doing all that I'm saying today and it's not working. You call your relationship manager at CalBank. You see, lenders want you to succeed. If CalBank did not want you to succeed, we wouldn't be here. They want you to succeed as a business and successfully pay off your loan. It does not help them if you go into default and they have to write off your loan. So reach out to your relationship manager. I'm saying it again. Please reach out to your relationship manager in a proactive manner. And CalBank is here for you. Forbearance is the best option in this period. It's delaying payments. Interest will still accrue, but it will help you if you encounter a temporary cash flow issue. You see, forbearance is a possibility, especially in a time like this. Hopefully, you are able to cut costs enough to honor any loan in a time of error. But hey, I wanted you to know about forbearance. Let's see if we can share any more ideas on how to cut costs. Let's see. I'm going to have an activity. And you remember I said, let's participate. And you all agreed with me on the ground rules of participation. So what's the objective? Is to list ways to immediately reduce costs to boost profitability during this pandemic. What are creative options the pandemic has opened to help you reduce costs? So tell us, have you been able to reduce costs? Which costs have you been able to reduce? Please type in the chat box for us. Whilst you are typing, Jimmy, do we have anything else in the chat box?
Yes, Margaret, thank you so much. The comments are coming in thick and fast. Allow me to read one moving one here from Alexander on the major cost. Alexander says, utilities, staff motivation are my major costs since I am not always physically present. I believe in motivation. Another one from Kenneth, utilities, import duties. All right, thank you so much, Alexander. Again, staff cost. Emmanuel said utility and salaries are major costs. Joshua Nyame, thank you. Joshua says salaries, utilities, and stationary costs. All right. Thank you so much, Alexander. Staff cost, Emmanuel, utilities, and salaries. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. I see staff cost, utilities. I think, yes, I also realized that I could cut down on utilities. Thank you all very much. And please don't end it here. When you go back, continue this activity with your staff and with your partners. Great. You have some tangible ideas on how to trim your cost immediately. Let's look now at the flip side, boosting your sales during the pandemic. Now we have looked at cutting costs. We can also boost sales, can't we? So now let's look at workarounds for increasing sales. Usually this topic is full of ways to get money faster and delaying paying out. But in a time like this, the new normal is to seek to serve your clients by meeting their needs. Yes, we need to meet the needs of our clients. Now let's look at this. So I want us to have another activity. List ways to drive sales by serving your customers during the pandemic. That's the objective. How are we going to do this? What could you offer to better meet your existing and new customers' needs? So now, what can you do to ensure that you meet the needs of your customers? Please write in the chat box for me. What are we doing to meet their needs? Jimmy, do we have anything in the chat box? Otherwise, I'll move on and we'll read what they are doing later.
Yeah, sure. We may move and then we read whatever they're doing later. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jimmy. So here we go. Let's look at some suggestions. So you can increase cash inflows and sales. How do I mean? You can make it easy for your customers to buy online. Everybody is going online now. Those who did not go online suffered a lot. So please, it is said that better late than never. If you are not online, you can go online now. Please, but when you go online, make sure your shop is beautiful. Just like you have a shop in the physical world, brick and mortar, and you make sure your shop is nice. Look for someone to help you align the things, to arrange the things in a way that is so beautiful. Then you can get what you're selling to be delivered and multiple payment methods. You see, so maybe people can pay online. Now we are all wary of using cash. So maybe Momo. You see, you allow people to pay using Momo, they can pay online and stuff like that. And they can use the Visa cards and the debit cards. Let's look at that. And retooling. Let's look at change what you are offering. I used to use CassaPreco as an argument, as an example. They retooled fast. During the pandemic, when the bars were not opened, they had the tools, they had the equipment, they had the factory. All that CassaPreco did was to quickly change and start selling rubbing alcohol. You see, they retooled, they used what they had to make sure they gave us something, and so they did not make any losses. Then I saw the fashion designers also start designing clothes with matching masks. So please retool, use what you have and look at the market and change your style. You see, so these are some of the things that you can do. And in the time being, you can even offer discounts and stuff like that to ensure that you stay relevant. So now let's look at pricing strategy. Workarounds for pricing strategy is another option for adjusting your business during and after the pandemic. Aspects affecting your initial strategy could have great changes. So please, this is also important. We have looked at reducing costs. Now, excuse me, if you are not speaking, could you kindly mute yourself? Thank you very much. Now let's look at aspects that affect price. While we go over them, think about what has changed for your business in this period. Now I want you to think about this. So there's a way to block your vision, the vision that we saw. I asked you to visualize how your business will look like. There's a way to block it, and there's a way to propel it. You block it by price gouging. Now, when you look for things, most people we can't find certain things. But even biscuits, as common things as biscuits, you can't get them because we are not importing as much. If you have stuff that people are looking for and your competitors do not have, please don't increase your price. Please don't do price gouging, because customers will never forgive you when things normalize. They will go to your competitors. So you can propel it by selling higher volume at lower cost. So sell more, and they will never, never forget you. This, as they say, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So you can, on the other hand, propel both your profitability and your reputation. Because if you do price gouging, people are going to say you are wicked. So you can propel both profitability and your reputation by becoming the low-cost preferred seller for your customers. You see, meeting their demand and growing your customer base is very important. By selling a higher volume, you can make them more affordable, which will increase goodwill with your customer base. Now let's look at other pricing considerations. And I want to show you this beautiful diamond. Wow. You see, look at this beautiful diamond. You see, in this era, the ultimate objective of any business is to make profit. Both sales and profits are important factors to business sustainability, as you know. So selling the most is not as important as making the most profit. It is possible to sell a lot but not make the profit, as we discussed earlier. Like this bright shining diamond with 5 sides, your pricing must be appealing. The 5 facets of the pricing model are cost, customer, competition, product features, and branding. Now let your customers feel comfortable when they come to your store. Provide masks, gloves, sanitizers for your staff. Provide water and soap or sanitizers. Now see that a lot of organizations have removed the Veronica bucket. If you're not speaking, could you kindly mute yourself? Thank you so much. Now I realize that a lot of customers, a lot of entrepreneurs and shops have removed the Veronica buckets as if nothing is happening. But there are still reported cases. And if all your customers are like me, they won't come back. So please continue to provide water, soap, or sanitizers and gloves for your customers. You see, when you do this, you brand yourself as an organization that cares. And branding is a way of differentiating your organization from your competitors. Using sanitizers, observing social distancing protocol sets you apart as a caring and responsible organization. Let's consider which pricing strategy facets have changed during the pandemic and how that should affect pricing. So for you, which facets have changed for you during this pandemic? Is it branding? Is it the type of customers you have? You can type in the chat box. Whilst I ask Jimmy if we have anything else in the chat box.
Yes, Margaret, indeed. We have so much in the chat box. All right. So on our earlier question on what are we doing better, Chantella Pia had said, I focused more on selling antibacterial products, which boosted sales during the pandemic. Right. Maxwell had said, I am increasing turnaround time of service delivery since our new normal rather involves electronic payments. And then finally from Jojo had said, what I'm doing better is better customer engagement. Thank you so much. And back to you, Margaret.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. So now let's look at this. Woo, I think this is my last session. Considerations when choosing options. Now we have spoken about cutting down on cost. We have also spoken about increasing sales. We have also spoken about your pricing strategy. So now when you are considering your options, what should you do? It is tempting in this period to react quickly and short-sightedly. You shouldn't be doing that. Take a moment, take a deep breath, and some time with a good sounding board to make sure you have carefully considered your options and their ramifications. Please map out your considerations so decisions do not have undesired, unplanned effects. Now let's turn to things to consider in order to make your dreams, the dreams we saw at the beginning, those beautiful dreams. Let's see what we can do to make those dreams come true. So now consider this. Continuity of operations in the new normal. Will international, country, region, or local regulations, rules, or trade limitations affect your continuity of operations? I was telling you about FALO that I read about it, and I was wondering, wow, so if you are in a place where you expect goods from outside and some of them are air freighted, does it mean it's going to affect your supplies? Will the way you do business or your business model, services or goods need to change? Or maybe you think, oh, it's airlines, they won't come. But maybe if tourists come in. So if the tourists are not coming in, how is it going to affect your business? Will the ability for you to do business be hampered? So these are some of the things, and the impact on your family. I'm very big on the impact on your family. As SMEs, you know that our families matter, and most of the time, it's about I even want to talk about the impact on your personal wellness. You know, extreme times call for extreme measures, but you are remiss if you do not count the cost of the demand and the time and energy on your personal health and well-being. Please exercise if you must. I'm an SME. Oh, during this pandemic, you know, because it's been stressful, you need to exercise, you need to eat well. As our president said, please eat our local food, eat the vegetables, consider times of rest and reflection for yourself. So please, stress management is important and self-care is important at this time. You should also think about your family. Your vision may require financial and time sacrifices, not from you, but from your family as well. So consider, please, as SMEs, consider including them in your decision and discussions because it may affect them and your employees as well. Have an open book. Let your employees see that you are not hiding anything from them. So these are some of the few things I wanted to share with you this evening. And so please look at this. Congratulations, you are almost finished with this course. But before I close, I want to go back to Jimmy to ask Jimmy. Jimmy, have we got any contributions in the chat box before I close?
Yeah, definitely, Margaret. So a couple of them came in on the things that we should be considering, and Abba Manu had said competition and cost are some of the things that we'll put in mind. Emmanuel had said the volume of sales, again, together with social media presence. Yeah, so those are the couple of comments that have come in. Thank you so much, guys. Back to you, Margaret.
Thank you all very much. Before we close, we want to go over some resources for you and answer your questions. So here we go. When we started, we said we were going to do this. We will discuss profitability, ways to increase profit, considerations when choosing options, and conclude beautifully. We said you should be able to describe the difference between profit, profitability, sales, and cash. Also list ways to work around the pandemic to control costs, increase sales, and manage your pricing, and identify points of consideration in choosing workaround options. Have we been able to do this? If we have, please type yes in the chat box for me, otherwise no. So please, if we have, please type yes for me. And whilst you type your answers, I'm going to look at the next steps. Please go back through the brainstorming activities in this webinar with your colleagues and decision makers and make and implement your cost control plans. Also make sure you implement your plans to increase sales and your pricing strategy as well. So today we've looked at supporting MSME clients in time of crisis. On 20th October, we'll look at adjusting your business plan during crisis. And I think that the others will follow. We'll give you the dates as we move along. And yes, I promised that I was going to give you links to Barbara Cochran's article. That here it is. And I've also added one. But for the time being, the bank will send you a flyer that has all the information that we have shared today, the slides, all the information on the slides. We've managed to put those on a one-pager for you. And if you, for any reason, you need to contact anybody at the bank for further details, you see the address on the slides is also on the one-pager that will be sent to you. I will stop here because we'd like to take your questions. But since we will not come back, we'll be taking questions, I want to say a very big thank you. But I leave it here for questions, and that is when I hand over to Jimmy.
Well, Margaret, thank you so very much for that wonderful and insightful presentation. So a question came in, and I know others are coming in. So maybe as you take a glass of water, Giorgio can comment on this one, and then you can take it back through. So Kenneth had asked, and this is the question. You know the cost of imports have gone up due to the dollar rate. So how do I break even?
Can I answer this question now?
Yes, please go ahead.
I know the dollar rate has gone down up, but you remember what we have said about the things that you can do. So this is a time for you to try and implement. It is not just one simple answer. It is to have a look at your business again. And you remember we said, where can I cut costs? How am I going to cut costs? Do I need to co-locate? Do I need to co-share with someone? How am I going to? So all the things we've said about cutting costs, about doing a waste walk, sometimes the dollar goes up. You've got to find a creative way of ensuring that your business survives. So is it waste? Am I going to, as we have learned today, literally going to walk through my process to see where I can cut waste, there's wastage, where I can reduce waste. So these are some of the things that you have to look at. So please don't take anything out of what has been said today and try them out to see. So sometimes cutting down costs can help you make even. Thank you. And also reducing waste and all the permutations that have been discussed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margaret.
So, Margaret, to add to that, Jimmy.
All right, Jojo, go ahead.
To add to that, as Margaret stated earlier, you could also renegotiate the terms of your trade or terms of payment with your suppliers. That can also reduce your cost of sales.
Thank you very much. And Jimmy, you remember we also said it's also a time for you to maybe even look at the suppliers you have. Maybe it's time to change the suppliers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
This has given all of us the opportunity to ask ourselves, am I with the right suppliers? Now it's giving you the chance to look at your business with fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much, Margaret. Yeah, I hear of cutting costs. I hear finding possible ways of cost sharing and finding creative ways in able to keep our businesses afloat. All right, so there's another one here. Someone on Facebook Live, Daniel has posted this one. Thank you, Daniel. Someone is asking, how do you help beginners to establish a shop online? I am new in this business. Maybe Margaret, you can comment on this one.
Yes, thank you very much, Jimmy, and thank you very much for my participants who asked the question. Yes, I normally say when I wanted to go online, as MSMEs, sometimes we don't have the cash. So I looked for someone who was young, who was still in school, but someone who also knew what they were about. And we have grown with that person till now. So don't look for look for those who do digital marketing, look for those who design websites and stuff like that. And these days, even if you go on Instagram or Twitter and you tweet that you are looking for someone and that you are a startup, you will be amazed at the number of people who respond to your request. And then you can have a chat with them and see which of them you would want to work with. So please don't underestimate the power of social media these days. Thank you.
And then, Jimmy, to add to what Margaret said, so our first webinar the topic was on how SMEs can create value using digital channels. So later you can get in touch with our team. We'll help you to sort it out. That's an additional answer to the last question.
All right. Thank you so much for that one. Yeah, indeed. So let me check over here if we have any further questions. Okay. So Margaret, I don't seem to have any other questions from my side. I would like to say thank you to Daniel, who has been manning our Facebook live chat on the other side. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for your comments and questions. It has been really grateful, and it was my pleasure to be your moderator. So back to you, Margaret, for your closing remarks together with Giorgio.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a joy working with you. And as I always say when I'm teaching this particular webinar course, I say I love this book. It is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. You know, it is a book that changed the way I look at the world as a business person. You know, your cheese will always move. If it's not this pandemic, it will be maybe another thing in the environment, maybe a policy by your government or something in another country. You know, as a business person, you always have to have your antennas up, and you always have to move one step ahead of the game. So please, no one moved your cheese. The cheese will keep on moving. You will have to move faster than the cheese. Please take a deep breath. Breathe in and think about how you're going to propel your business to the next level. This pandemic should give you a chance to come back stronger and better in the year 2021. So please go and practice what you have heard today. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you. Bye-bye for now, for me.
Okay, so Jimmy, so to add to what Margaret has said, it's been a very good experience today. We've learned a lot. We've learned about how we can manage your costs, have it walk through all your cost items, your whole overhead costs, your direct costs, your staff costs, see where you can make changes and you can make reductions. We can also learn how to manage our fixed costs, learn how to manage our variable costs, and we can also renegotiate more favorable terms from our various partners, including our suppliers. We should learn how to reduce waste and remove unnecessary and ostentatious spending from our spending patterns. And then to add to what Maria said, if necessary, seek audience with your banker, seek audience with CalBank, our relationship officers will sort you out. And a lot of things that we've learned today. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be having another program, another webinar, and then that was about adjusting to the current times and adjusting your business practices to current times. So that one to Margaret will be on hand to do that. As I mentioned at the beginning, it is our vowed commitment to help our SME businesses grow as a bank. We want to grow with you and grow with you together. We are happy when you're happy, and we are not happy when you're also not happy. So we want to ensure that through thick and thin, we are there with you. We have various products that you can leverage to be able to do your business very well. We have the new CalBank app, which as SMEs you can subscribe to as merchants. You have a very interesting feature on it called the CalPay, where you can load all your various products on it and avail all the products to the general public, to all subscribers of the app. Then you're able to upload the images of the various products on it. And then it's a payment platform where subscribers can easily identify the images and of the various products, identify the product that are of interest to them, for them to be able to make purchases, and everything can be done on the app. We have other products as well. We have a Cal internet bank, which we call the CalNet. We have very robust collection, robust and safe collection platform. We have the school fees collection. We have the church collection. We have even the funeral collection called Insawa. It's very innovative. Everything is done for you. We also have the Cal mobile banking platform, that's star 771. Also, you can use it to do a lot of transfer, a lot of transactions, or for even liquidity management. You can move money from your wallet to your account and account to wallet. You can use it for to make transfers. So these are some of the. We also have our agent banking channel, and we have agents all over the country that you can access. So for existing customers, this is a clarion call for you to avail yourself to all the products that we have. And for our new customers, for potential customers and new participants who are not customers of CalBank, we intuit you that CalBank has a wealth of SMEs at heart. We often organize such webinars to improve your capacity, improve your knowledge, to help you how to grow your business. So this is the beginning of good things to come. The next 2 weeks, we'll have another session. Thank you very much for participating. It's been good sharing this time with you. Thank you. Jimmy,
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jojo. And once again, thank you, everyone. And please have a good evening. Until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you.